This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today Show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today Show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today Show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to today's episode of Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, right here on Blog Talk Radio, where we broadcast Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. Central Standard Time to 6 p.m. This is the place, Irv, where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. If you want to join the conversation, Irv and I are always willing recipients to hear what's on your mind. You can give us a call at 347-857-3958. Again, that number here to the studio is 347-857-3958. Irv, my friend.
Yes, sir.
How was your day today, sir?
I had a great day today, man. Spent the whole day in and out of meetings.
Well, you know what? Sometimes that can be a great day.
It was a great day. I was just literally from this morning straight on through, in and out of meetings. All the meetings went really, really well. And I got to tell you, John, it's been a while, quite frankly, since I've had a day where all the meetings went well. Unlike for the Houston Texans.
Oh man, I
was
hoping you weren't going to talk about it.
But all of my meetings went well. All the meetings that happened last night didn't go very well.
Oh man, for those of you who don't know, Irvin and I, we reside in Houston, Texas. We film this show. We broadcast from Houston, Texas every day, and we are Texans fans. That's whether right. they get their butts spanked
on national TV,
80-0, or whether they have an 11-1 record or 11-2 record. So it wasn't a good night for them. But but nonetheless, I think that they were just baiting them in. They wanted them to appear soft, and they're saving it all for the playoffs and their run for the Super Bowl.
I don't know. I tell you what, one of the things that I did is I got to tell you, I think it was the Letterman jackets. Yeah, they came into Foxborough with Letterman jackets on.
And I like Letterman jackets.
I like Letterman jackets too, but not at the pro level.
Not at you know what? It probably put you in a high school mindset.
Yeah, and man.
That wasn't. If Foxborough is not the place.
Foxborough is not the place to think you're still in high school. They needed to look like you.
Come in like professionals.
Come in like professionals, man. I don't know. I think
you know what? You might be on to something.
I don't know. It's all right for me to wear one, but it's not all right for them to wear one. I will tell you right now.
Well, I tell you what, Coach. If you are listening to this, kill the Letterman jackets.
Yeah,
all right.
Right. Kill the Letterman.
Well, I got an email from a listener, and they asked me, why do you ask Irv every day how he's doing? Well, I for those of you who don't know, that this is the first time that Irv and I see each other during the day.
That's right.
So we're not married.
That's right.
And, to each other,
That's right.
And we don't work out of the same office.
Right.
So we come here every single day to do this show. And because our days are so hectic, Irv is on the phone and on the road all day, every day, as am I. And so this is the one time that we come together. And often, it's like 5 minutes before we go live that we have the opportunity to say hello to each other.
That's exactly right. And the other thing, folks, is, and by the way, thank you for the question, but you need to understand that John and I, between the two of us, we have several holdings going on.
Yeah.
Because when we're talking to you about small business, it's not because it's conjecture. It's not because it's something we read in a book. We live it.
Oh, man.
And so holding some of these positions that we're holding, some of these positions that I hold as a consultant in my consulting firm, I have a finance firm, I have a business development firm. So I have a lot of things going on, as does John.
Yeah.
And so for us, this is the end of the day. So, John, you're absolutely right. This is the first time we generally see each other during the course of the day. So it's more of a greeting between us, and not that you're not invited, but it's a greeting.
Well, and I must say that seeing you at the end of the day is really a highlight to my day.
Well, I appreciate that, because it's certainly a highlight for me, because every time I come to the show, at least I want to know what I want to look like one day. One of these days I want to look like that. I do know that even if I can't physically get there, one day I can afford the clothes.
Oh, my goodness.
So, it's one of those things. But no, I appreciate coming here every day, man.
With that being said, let's go on to today's topic.
Yeah, let's talk.
I figured a great segue to come back from yesterday's show, which I thought was a great show, is that we talk about business reputation and how important that is. If you missed yesterday's show, I definitely encourage you to go back to our archives. You can go to our website, www.cruiseandhughes.com. That's CRUISE, Cruise and Hughes, HUGHES, cruiseandhughes.com. There's a link on there for you to click on Blog Talk. You can find our old shows and scour through them. But we talked about what's necessary to get a large customer.
That's right.
We've all had that desire to get that Fortune 50, Fortune 100, Fortune 500 customer, to get that relationship. What does it take? And yesterday, Irv and I, we talked about some of those things that must be present in your business for you to achieve that type of goal. But reputation, although it's something that we mentioned yesterday, reputation plays a strong part in your ability to get that type of recognition where someone at that level recognizes you for what you do. And I thought today, Irv, that we talk about some things that a small business could do to improve their business reputation.
Well, absolutely. And let me just tell you, the very first thing you want to do to improve your reputation is make sure you're monitoring your reputation. You better be watching.
You're snatching stuff off my list already.
You better be watching, folks. You better be paying attention, because let me tell you what, your reputation can slip right out from under you. And oftentimes, if you're not paying attention, all it takes is a quick moment, and all of a sudden, your reputation is not where you want it to be. And it could be something very, very simple, something very, very fixable. But guess what? It goes unnoticed.
And we all know how reputation is.
Absolutely.
I mean, it takes a lifetime to build, but just a second to destroy.
Just a second.
I mean, how many people are... We won't even get into those.
Don't get into those numbers.
But we're going to talk about business reputation today, guys. Stay with us. We're going to take a short break. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, which is brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. If you're not on the email list, the email list went out today, so you should have a notice in your email inbox. But if you're not on the list, go to www.smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com. Put your information in. Excellent articles that you can use real time to build your business. Stay with us. Irv and I will return in just a moment.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the...
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruiseandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Welcome back to the show. Irv and I are talking about business reputation. And, I think we've all done business with someone at some point in time who runs their own small business that it
Sure.
appears does not have any regard for their business reputation. I mean, I've done business with people, Irv, where I have said that I am going to complain on every social media platform.
Right.
I'm going to get on Yelp, and and they would just say, "Go ahead."
Oh, see, that's a bad attitude.
Well, that person isn't going to last long.
No, look, you got to care. All right, the bottom line is, folks, you got to care. You have to care about your business. And let me tell you what, if you don't care about your business, think of it like this. It only affects how you're going to live for perhaps the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So, and it's only going to affect everyone you care about. So if you don't care, then you don't care, and you're willing to pay that sort of price. But I just believe if you don't care, that's an awfully bad attitude, and I'm going to call it bad. I was going to use a better word, John. I was going to say cavalier.
Yeah.
But no, it's just,
I've been known to be a little cavalier about this.
Yeah, but see, that's what you're saying. If someone doesn't care about what their reputation is, that's just bad.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, it's bad business.
It doesn't deserve the smoothness of a word like cavalier.
Oh, no. Well, cavalier is not necessarily reckless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that kind of attitude is reckless.
Now, when we talk about reputation, I first want to make the statement that all successful businesses are built on great reputation.
No doubt.
I don't know any successful business that does not have a positive reputation.
Right.
Now, what is reputation?
Well, reputation is literally how other people see you with other people.
What you're known for.
What is it you're known for? And I can immediately think of some names. I know we touched on this maybe some time ago on the show, talking about buying experiences, or in my case, not a buying experience with Nordstrom's.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I'm going to tell you what, folks. You can say what you want, but Nordstrom's charges a premium for their merchandise.
And that's because they give you a premium experience.
But it's because it's a premium experience.
Absolutely.
And all you got to do is lose your shirt that you bought from Nordstrom's, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
And they'll go the extra mile to make the customer happy.
Absolutely.
And we all could learn a lesson from from Nordstrom's business model as it relates to customer service.
Absolutely.
Now, I figured we'd go through some bullet points and we talk till we get tired. You want to lead the way?
Yeah, listen, here's one of them. How about this one? Do we want to number them, or we just say them out loud?
Just say them out.
We'll just say it out loud. First of all, folks, build bottom-up credibility. What do we mean by bottom-up credibility? In other words, folks, deliver what you promise. Deliver what you promise. In other words, if you know you can deliver great service in 3 days, don't promise it in 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the first thing to maintaining and keeping a good reputation. Keep your credibility up by under promise and over deliver. Under promise and over deliver. Set expectations up front, okay? But don't set expectations that you're not absolutely positive you can deliver on.
If you can't do it, don't you promise it.
Don't you promise it.
If you can't prove it, don't you say it.
That's exactly right.
And I first have to say this. What we're talking about, none of the stuff that we're talking about on this show is rocket science. I mean, we're not giving you the secret to life here, although we know the answer to that is 42.
That's right.
Because that's what Stephen K. said. The answer to life was 42.
That's right.
Now, what the hell does that mean? I don't know.
I don't know either.
But what I am saying is that we're not giving you this isn't mad science work here.
Right.
These are things that make you fundamentally sound.
That's right.
And just like any professional athlete, if you have no mastery of the fundamentals, then you cannot call yourself a professional. And that goes from the athletic world all the way over to the business boardroom.
That's right.
And these are the fundamentals that Irv and I are talking about. And I know some of you are going to take these with a cavalier attitude.
Yeah.
And you're not going to invest as much into this as the level of importance that this really rises to. So we want you to be fundamentally sound. And as you say, building that bottom-up credibility, if you can't deliver it, don't promise it.
Just don't promise it,
If you
folks.
can't prove it, don't say it.
That's right.
It's that simple. People will respect you more
That's
for
right.
not doing those things than they will for you to say, well, I can deliver, 800 units by tomorrow. You deliver 700 and then you apologize for the difference.
No.
That doesn't work.
It will absolutely not work. And let me just tell you, folks, there is no shame or embarrassment. It's not an indictment against you or your business model to tell a customer no.
Yeah.
A customer comes in with a particular need. Example, the customer needs a product or service delivered by 2:00 today. One of the places that I frequent, a lot of times I'm pressed for time, as we discussed at the top of the show. And so I'll come in and I'll say, listen, can I get in and out of here by, say, 2:00?
Oh.
And they'll say, oh, yes, Mr. Hughes, we can get you out by 2. Folks, at 2:01...
You're chasing people around the shop.
I'm ready to hurt somebody.
Right.
Because you said I could be out of here by 2. You didn't say the possibility exists that I could be out by 2.
Yeah.
You didn't set my expectation that, well, it could take till 2:15. You didn't say that. You said, yes, I can get you out by 2. Well, guess what? If you're at 1:59, I am all right with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're at straight up 2:00, I'm all right with you. But you got to tell me that the possibility exists that you won't make it.
That's right.
So that it's now the onus is on me to decide whether or not I've got enough room to give you that flexibility or opt out. And if I don't get that, guess what? Your reputation is in jeopardy with me.
Well, as you put it, setting the right expectation.
Absolutely.
So often that goes overlooked in business.
Sure.
And I just cannot tell you how much respect I have for people when I say, can you do something? And you tell me, no, I cannot.
That's right.
And these are the reasons why I cannot.
That's
because
right.
I don't control this aspect of what we do. I can respect that. And I will tell you, look, okay, well, I can't do business with you today, but I tell you what, I do appreciate you setting the right expectation. You have to do that in your business. I know that, especially when you're hurting for sales.
Yes.
And you're almost willing to lower your standards in order to get a sale, but it's never worth it. I don't care what you make on a sale. If you sell a widget, you make $25,000 profit. It's not worth risking not getting the repeat buy.
That's absolutely true.
Or the referral.
Especially the referral.
Okay. The next point, deliver some R&R. And when you hear R&R, what do you think about?
I was thinking about rest and relaxation.
Well, that's what most people would probably think. I mean, because you and I both could use them.
Yeah, we could use some, but is that not what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about responsiveness and reliability.
Responsiveness and reliability. Okay, all right.
I got to tell you a little story. I have a younger brother.
Okay.
And I don't know what the word is. You're very good with the English diction. You may be able to pick out what this is, but my brother is probably the most unresponsive person, meaning that he's very just about everything.
Oh, I see.
And as a big brother who was always under a deadline because mother set those deadlines,
of course,
that would drive me bananas. And so what it has made me become in my older age is very responsive to the things that are said and even unsaid. I can tell when I'm talking to an audience if I'm losing them. I can tell who's responding, who isn't, if I need to switch gears, speed up, slow down. But I cannot stand that. What's the word I'm looking for?
Lackadaisical.
That's it. That's it. Lackadaisical attitude.
That's right.
It drives, if you want to get fired quick in my organization, you manifest and foster a lackadaisical attitude, especially as it relates to other employees and especially as it relates to customers.
That is right.
Be responsive. Pay attention to what's going on in your organization. Pay attention to what's going on in your store, in your shop. Know when you're losing your customer. There are always signs.
That's right.
It's just we choose not to pick up on them.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you just glaze right over them. And let me tell you what, folks, when you're in a customer encounter, you need to actively listen to what your customer is saying to you. Shut up. Just stop talking. All right.
Be a stickler for communications. I love that, Irv.
Please stop talking. Let your customers speak. Let them finish. Don't start finishing their sentences.
Oh.
Don't get in a rush to say something, and don't zone out while your customer is talking to figure out what it is you're going to say as soon as they're done. You need to actively listen to what your customer is saying. There are clues in there for you.
Let me tell you something. In my finance business, at first, I became the person that handled all complaints. You know why that is?
Why is that?
Because instead of defending myself, instead of defending my company, I allowed the customer to get it all out.
Right.
And then as soon as they got it all out, the first thing that I did was own it.
Yeah, you got to own it.
Once I owned it, and then I said I was sorry for it, and this is what we're prepared to do to make things right.
Right.
Man, every single customer fell in love with us.
Oh, of course.
But I found out as long as I tried to defend, pass the buck, point the finger, they walked out the door angry, and they would tell 1,000 people.
Of course.
So that's my.
And let me tell you what, if you spend any money on advertising, wow, you know what you just did? You just blew your budget in the weeds, because now whatever positive spin you put on your advertising, guess what? The word of mouth is going to start to erode that in a negative way.
Man, and I got a company that I could give, but I'm going to save that name for after the break.
Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by Mega Suits. Mega Suits offers an extensive collection of quality business clothing such as men's suits, dress shirts, shoes, and accessories. Call Mega Suits today at 888-349-2910. We'll be back right after these messages.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Business reputation.
That's what we're talking about.
That's the subject or the content that we're giving you today. We're talking about business reputation. What are those things that you should be focused on? And I want to title this being fundamentally sound. Is basically what we're discussing.
Sure.
These are the things that if you have not mastered this, then you can throw away your growth plan. You can throw away your business plan because it's for naught.
Downhill.
I'm telling you.
In a hurry.
It starts here, being responsive to your customer. As you put it, stop talking when they're having a discrepancy. Let them get it all out. Let them speak their mind, and you own it. You apologize for it, and then you do something to make it right. Let's move on down the list. What do we want to talk about
How
next?
about offering an exceptional value?
Okay.
An exceptional value. Now here's the thing about value, folks. And I know I'm gonna get some mail about this, what I'm about to say, but just send it, okay? and here's the thing. No one buys anything based solely on price.
Wait a second. I mean, I see car commercials all the time that say price sells cars.
No one buys anything based solely on price. That's not the only element of the buying decision. Value is a second piece and a big piece of the buying decision. Yes, price does play a role, but the real question at the foundation of that buying decision is value. And I'm saying offer up an exceptional value to your customers. Offer up an exceptional value. I'm not talking about, hey, get free parking with every time you come to my shop. No, that's not something that most people would consider an exceptional value. I'm talking about making sure that what you're offering, like we were talking about, exceptional service, that's a value. A great buying experience, that's a value. Setting expectations and then exceeding those expectations, that's a value. People, I'm stunned at the number of people who say, well, people just buy on price. Well, that's not true. If you have, down here in Texas, we're close to the border. For those of you who are around the country, and we have something down here that are called taquitos. And you can buy taquitos. Not mosquitoes, but taquitos.
Yeah.
And you can buy taquitos, and you can buy them in bunches of 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or what have you. Taquitos are generally $1 or $2.
Mm-hmm.
And as inexpensive as that is, if the taquito is bad, doesn't taste good, or makes your stomach sick, that's taking away from its value. And now, even though it's only $1 or $2, I don't want it.
Right.
And you can't give it to me.
Right.
If you came to me and said, now, hey, guess what? We've got these terrible taquitos, but they're only 50 cents. I don't care.
I don't care. They could be 10 cents.
They could be 10 cents. They could be free.
Yeah.
I don't want free bad taquitos.
Yeah. You don't want free bad anything.
No, I don't want free bad anything. So what am I saying? I'm saying understand that customers assess value differently. So maybe you're offering a free product or a service or something like that, or you're offering a discount or a special perk to loyal customers. Here's what I'm getting at. Make sure that you offer something unexpected. That's what I mean by value.
You know what? And Jay Abraham talks about this. And if you're not familiar with Jay Abraham, you should Google him. And he is one of the foremost authorities on value and using different types of companies to offer that value through. Meaning that in your area where you do business, let's say that you're in a strip center, and I don't know, maybe you clean carpets, and there is a donut shop at the end of the maybe you could perhaps do something with them that every time someone comes in and gets a carpet cleaning, you could offer some donuts or something.
Sure.
Now, I'm just giving that out as an example that you can do some other things. You can find some value somewhere with the people that are around you. I mean, if you got 4 or 5 businesses that are around you, maybe in the same strip center, work something out with them. How can you use your customer base to patronize what they do?
Sure.
And vice versa, you use the same people that are coming into the donut or kolache shop, and you ask them, hey, you offer them $25 off of getting their carpet cleaned or something.
Cut the deal.
Make some value. Create some value. And then you get access to a type of person that you would not had access to.
Right.
So think of something. Is what I'm saying. Offer some value.
Yeah, absolutely. I was kind of thinking about, hey, if you had a donut or a bakery, right? What would really be cool is partner up with somebody like Victoria's Secrets.
that would be cool.
I mean,
I don't know how you do that.
Would that be cool?
Man, my mind is wandering. I'm trying to think of something here. Do you like eating sweet things? Then you're gonna love this.
I mean, what adds more value than having a sausage and jalapeno kolache with a gift card from Victoria's Secret
for women's lingerie?
How cool
goes
is that?
perfectly together.
It goes perfectly together. So anyway, offer some exceptional value, folks. That's what we're saying.
The next thing, be privacy sensitive.
Oh boy!
And when you hear that, I'm talking about as it relates to your customers.
Sure.
There's nothing worse. We had a bank here once that really took a hit. They're no longer in business.
I was going to say you said you said we had a bank here once.
Yeah. They're gone
that
now.
Sounds like that's past tense, John.
Someone went and threw away. I think it was like a box of donuts. Now that we're talking about that. They went and threw away something into a dumpster and found boxes and boxes of customer information.
You know what? I remember that.
Yeah.
It made the news.
Yeah, it was Bank United.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the company that bought them subsequently is no longer in business.
Yeah.
Washington Mutual.
Yeah, well,
so they had
I thought
a problem.
You wasn't going to name names,
you know
John.
what? I'm calling them all out today. Yeah, I mean these are people that have made these mistakes in error, and they've ruined a great reputation, and it takes time to rebuild that. Being sensitive to your customer data, customers want to hear that if they're purchasing from you, and if they're using sensitive data like their credit cards or they're doing bank drafts, they want to know the links that you've gone through as a company to make certain that the buying experience is safe and secure with you.
Sure, absolutely. And with that said, being privacy sensitive, John, I'm reminded of drugstores and banks today. If you go into a drugstore today, I can tell you that you can look at the pharmacies, I'm calling them drugstores, I'm dating myself, pharmacies that are sensitive to this, because some of them, when you come up to the counter, they actually put a line on the floor. Or they put a crowd control bar there and say, look, you need to stand 15 feet.
All the cattle needs to herd up over here.
You need to stand back away from this person at our counter who is trying to transact some private business with us with regard to his pharmaceuticals.
Certainly.
But you know what? Everyone tends to appreciate and respect that, because guess what? It's going to be their turn.
Yeah, you want that in return.
Absolutely. So you're going to get your turn at the counter, and boy, you don't want this guy up shoulder to shoulder like John and I are.
Yeah. While someone's discussing, did the penicillin clear that up?
Yeah.
You don't want your neighbor hearing. So you want to have some level of discretion.
Absolutely.
And lastly, before you come with the next point, Irv, don't sell your customers' information. I can't think of a good reason to ever do that. Although there are some small businesses that share information.
Yep.
I personally just am not a fan of that.
Yep, absolutely. And you know what? With that said, honor any of these loyalty programs, opt-in lists, things like this. Don't just send out email blasts to all these folks, and you don't know them. They didn't give you permission to contact them. Go through the proper steps, time, energy, effort, and expense to get a permission-based customer list together. It's absolutely worth it.
And when you go into our list at www.smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com and you put your information in there, and we email that beautifully designed magazine to you each and every month, we do not share that information with any other outside sources.
Absolutely correct.
All right.
And you know what? Here's the next point, John. Demonstrate tech proficiency. Technology proficiency. Folks, we live in a technology-driven world, especially here in the United States, where we revere people who are very good with technology. We just do. And you know what? There is an expectation that if you're in business, you ought to at least demonstrate that you have a proficiency with the basic pieces of technology being used. It's an issue when your customers come into your place of business or interact with you online and you don't seem to quite know what an email is.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Or if you have an online store, but your website was designed, in the late 90s. And it's just not a joy being on that site. And I think that, there's something to be said about making certain that you're tech proficient, making certain that you're up to date on softwares and programs to make the buying experience not only quick, but also enjoyable.
Absolutely. And folks, that means investing in your employees. If your employees are not technology proficient, that's going to bleed over into the customer experience, and you need to make sure that your employees are properly trained, properly educated. Keep them up to date on the latest, newest technology. It's important because ultimately it's going to affect that customer buying experience in that customer relationship, and you absolutely need to have an efficiency there so that people, it's funny, John, we talk about this, talking about tech proficiency. It's almost one of those things that if you're really proficient, no one would notice.
No, that's right.
What they notice is
when you're not. Yeah,
right.
That's a very good point.
So, with regard to technology, folks, just be mindful that it really means something to your customer when you're technology proficient, because it's not something that they should notice. Your customers are only going to notice when you're not, when you can't seem to get the go button to go.
Yeah, it's just like your AC. When it's working, you hardly notice, but when it isn't.
That's exactly right.
It's an issue.
It's absolutely an issue, and boy, can you have some issues there.
Then when we come back, I'm going to name another company that's
we name dropping today, man. That's good. I like that. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by the Lexington Law Firm. When you need credit help, get a free consultation today by calling 888-744-7081. More in a moment.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
Disastrous, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Irv and I are talking about business reputation and all of the things, I won't say all, but a myriad of the things that will affect your reputation negatively. And once your reputation has been attacked or pierced.
That's right. Ooh, that's good.
You have to go through great lengths to rebuild and reestablish that credibility and that trust, because you always say trust is
that's the currency. Trust is the new currency in America today. If you're in small business, you better be building it.
And if you violate that trust,
you break a trust, you're in trouble.
It's almost like stealing money from your customer.
Well, that's exactly right. Trust is the absolute new currency, because I'm going to tell you, people today have a tough time making a buying decision when they simply can't trust you. And when they go out on the web and look for information that would give them information or inferences as to what your reputation is, and it's poor, they can't do business with you. They just can't.
I totally get it. Now, the company that I said that I was going to name when we went to the break, Tax Masters.
Oh, my goodness.
Tax Masters. I mean, you take a company that was advertising nationwide. They were advertising in all 50 states and Guam, as well as Puerto Rico. And they were making something along the lines of like $1 million a week in new business.
That's incredible.
That's how many customers that they were signing up. I think they had 80 salespeople and probably a couple hundred process people.
That's incredible.
And somehow along the way, what it took for them to build that company up from a small little nondescript tax service to this national competitor, national powerhouse to compete with Ronnie Deutsch and the others.
Sure.
And they ran it in the ground by not doing the things. The people who came to that business to get certain amounts of tax work done, it was just not getting done.
Sure.
They became just a place where they were just processing payments.
Right.
And they ruined a great business. I really hate, the fact that things didn't work out for them. But it's amazing to me to watch the effort and the skill that went into building that organization.
Sure.
And then they just let it go down the drains.
Sure. And you know what? It's tough because the customers who had a poor experience, they're going to have a real tough time going to the next tax company, even though that company may not, maybe a much better run company than these guys were, but now there's what we would call a bad taste in their mouth because they had an ill buying experience.
Right. Well, one of the other things that you can do for your company, be proactive in your reputation management, and I like to call it reputation management.
Sure, that's what it is.
Because it's something that you should be managing daily.
Right.
That means that you're on top of this. And how do you stay on top of this? So one of the things that Irv says is that you need to know what's being said, which means that you have to participate and keep your ear to the street, as it were, when it comes to review sites, rating websites, and social media platforms.
Sure.
You have to know what people are saying about you, and you have to get involved, especially if something is going in a direction that would lead to bad reputation.
No doubt.
Now, I'm going to give a couple other points.
Okay, let's do that.
One is I believe that you should develop a policy for how conflict is handled in your office.
No doubt.
And there are a lot of small business people that I speak to, and I'm not speaking about everyone in the country, but there are a lot of people that I speak to who have zero policy, which means that if a person comes in angry for some reason, there's no direct go-to person.
Right.
There's no standard policy for what could be the issue.
Right.
And think about it. If you make cakes and somebody comes in angry at your business, it can only be for a handful of things.
That's right.
The cake was wrong. The cake was late. The cake was horrible.
Yep.
You dropped the cake.
Yep.
What could it be?
Yeah.
So you can develop some type of policy along with someone on your staff that has the authority to make things right with the customer.
You got to empower your employees to fix things with customers. You just do.
You have to.
Yeah.
And then lastly, you got to put out as much positivity on your company as you possibly can. Do you know that there are a lot of people out there, Irv, that don't go out of their way to talk about the good things that they do?
That's true.
And they don't post anything.
That's right.
So my thing is that having zero bad reputation is almost equally as having zero good reputation.
That's exactly right.
Because now when I come into your place of business or you solicit me for my business, I don't know who the heck you are.
That's right. Nobody's saying anything.
Nobody's saying nothing. And that's almost as bad as someone saying, "Hey, don't go to this guy. He's
that's right.
He's like a hair on your banana.
That's right.
You know, or he's like a fly in your bowl of milk. You know,
what is going on? Fly in your bowl of milk.
I mean, think about it. Would you pull out the fly and finish the bowl of milk?
No,
of course not. It's ruined.
No.
So your reputation is very similar to that. You got to protect it.
You know, one of the things I want to point out too is, you know what, folks, when you're in small business, get involved in your community. Do some things. Get out there and get involved in your community. Do something to give back. Be a little selfless, okay?
Yes.
We have here in the Houston area a furniture mogul, if you will, and one of the things that his reputation has been that he gives back and he supports the community.
Absolutely.
And boy, let me tell you what, I would suspect that his business certainly hadn't suffered for what he's been able to give into the community.
I would say not. Now let me ask you this, Irv. Some folks are of the mindset that, well, if I'm truly doing a selfless act, is it really selfless if I go out there and I plaster it all over my website, I put it in my marketing pieces, and every single time I get 2 minutes of press, I'm talking about all the things that I've done for the Boys and Girls of America, or the AIDS Foundation, or the walkathon for dyslexia, or whatever the case may be.
Sure. Now, that's an interesting question, and I would say this. If you do something, you're in business and you do something, say for the Boys and Girls Club, and it doesn't mean anything other than we're just talking about that as an example,
right?
And it winds up in a piece of news, comes out on a newswire,
yeah,
and it gets published, and you benefit from that. Then that's one thing. If you're taking that though and you're publishing it, you're pushing it, you're folding it into all of your marketing materials and pieces, there's places for that. I just don't think it should be out on the front page of everything you're doing. I think you can have, like, for example, a website. Mm-hmm. If you want to have a section of your website that talks about what involvement you've had in community service, by all means, have a section. But should it be on the home page in big bold letters? No.
Okay, I got you.
If you happen to want to put out a press release because you did something really good and somebody benefited from it, if the press release is about the benefits that person gained as a result of your involvement or involvement with others, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's when it's just outright advertising,
yeah,
I think no.
Okay.
So I think, yes, I think you can get away with some of that, but I think you got to really be careful with how you position that, because if it just comes out everything on your website, everything in your social media, everything on a billboard, we gave to United Way.
Yeah.
All right, come on, really?
Yeah. Well, and with that being said, then there's really a fine line.
There is a fine line
to how you should champion the fact that you've been involved in those causes. And one of the ways, now, I'm of the mindset, I want to make certain that everybody understands and that we're perfectly clear on where I stand. I believe that it has to be voiced. It has to be told. It has to be told to your customers. It has to be shared with your employees. Because I think it makes a difference when you work for an organization that truly cares about its community. But I'm also of the mindset you don't want to come into a negotiation and the first things out of your mouth is, I'm an honest person and I give to the Boys and Girls Club.
And that's exactly what I'm saying.
So I can understand where you're coming from.
Because that's now you're patronizing, right. and I think quite frankly, those things will come up anyway.
Right.
When you're doing good work, I do think those things need to have a place in your business. If you're putting a poster up in your business that says, "Hey, we support the March of Dimes,"
right?
Or I was going to say not the Shriners Hospital, but the hospital that takes care of the children.
Children's Hospital?
Well, no, not Children's Hospital. Not Children's Hospital. What is going on with this show? No, but
It's Stephen K.
Well, yeah, that must be what it is.
Yes,
He got
it
us
is.
all broken up. But if you're supporting something where there's a children's mission or something like this, and you want to put a sticker on your door, or maybe you want to put something on your website that says, "Hey, we support these organizations," I think that's enough.
Well, let me give you an idea when it comes to that. Now, I think that putting a tag like that on your website, I could see why you're against something like that. I think that if you're going to talk about that, it should be done more from the concept of we employ people who give back to the community. And if you are a true giver, show me yourself in action.
Sure.
Not just writing a check, licking the envelope, and then sending it through the mail. Show me where you're active. If you're in an organization like I'm in the Senior Citizen Center. I sit on the board.
Okay.
And we feed these people. So it's nothing for you to see me in an apron with a hammer and nails trying to fix the screen door of an elderly person who doesn't have the motor skills to do it anymore. So my thing is that show your people at work doing things. And I think that it makes a bigger statement.
Oh, it does.
It brings the attention to yourself, but it also, you can use that not only to show what you're doing, but also to motivate your customers.
Absolutely.
Motivate the people that you do business with. Hey, this is what we do. This is what we're involved in. And there's always room for more help.
Absolutely.
If you would like to get involved, contact this person in our organization.
Exactly.
So do it from that standpoint.
I agree.
And it makes great press. And it shows the marketplace what you're involved in.
Right.
But it shows action.
Yeah, and the point is, and I agree with you. I think the point that I wanted to make is you've got to really be careful with how you position your giving back so that it just doesn't come off as advertising.
Yeah.
It's got to be bigger than that. It's got to be more than that. And it's got to be more selfless than that.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Vice President candidate Ryan, when he went to the soup kitchen and he showed up just to wash a few pots and pans that had already been washed, I think that he did more damage,
no doubt,
to himself by doing that.
Yeah.
And so what we're saying is that don't do that. If you're gonna do something, do it fully, and definitely show that you're involved in the cause.
No doubt about it. And folks, with that in mind, be mindful that it's your reputation is really something that needs to be managed at the highest levels in the company.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs to be in on this.
Just like most people know how much money they have in their pocket.
That's right.
You should know how much business reputation you have in the marketplace.
That's exactly right. One good friend of mine who's very, very successful in his own business, he talks about equity. He calls it reputation equity.
I like that.
And I really enjoyed him saying that because your reputation can build equity for you. It can build equity in your business.
That's right.
Because now it sets an expectation when your brand is attached to your reputation. What does it say?
Yeah.
And does it set the right kind of expectation? But anyway, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by DirecTV. With over 285 channels and NFL Sunday ticket. Packages start at just $29.99 a month. Sign up today at 888-344-9296. Back in a moment.
Looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
Disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Irv and I have spent the day talking about ways for you to protect your business reputation and for you to really take seriously your business reputation. I mean, this is something that really is the foundation of your success. And as we alluded to in the first segment, reputation is what you are known for. What are you known for in your business? And if you're known for nothing, which means that if I go online and I do a search on your business and I can find nothing, then that's what you're known for. Wouldn't you agree?
I would absolutely agree.
So that means that you now have to become proactive in putting out information, and you have to establish a relationship.
That's right. And just
a reputation. A reputation.
Right. And here's the point. Folks, just remember the points today. Build a bottom-up credibility. Make sure you set good expectations and stick to it, okay? Deliver some R&R. As John says, that's responsiveness and reliability and not rest and relaxation like Irv would say, all right? Offer an exceptional value. Be privacy sensitive. In other words, be careful with other people's information. Okay. Demonstrate tech proficiency. Don't get hung up with old tech, and then don't train your employees to handle whatever the newest, latest, most efficient technology is. Communicate clearly and effectively with your customers.
Really?
Make sure you keep all your messages clear and concise. Make sure your website's good, and whatever you do, share out there, do some community service.
Absolutely, because what you do in the community is important not only to your employees but also your community at large. Guys, I want to thank you for listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. I'm John Cruz.
I'm Irv Hughes.
And this is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. Well, it's been a great show, Irv.
It's been a great show again.
Well, we can ask them to do 3 things. Until tomorrow, be smart, be successful, and above all else,
be in action.
And Irv and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.